Hey guys, we're back talking about, guess what? Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes. 35th anniversary. It's been dry. It's been really a whole lot of nothing. Maybe that's by design. Maybe that's due to Sega's plans. Maybe there's something bigger on the horizon. I don't know. I mean, I think we have a good idea of what to expect, but in today's video, we have some little things to talk about. Some interviews with Morio Kishimoto, as well as a feedback survey about Sonic Frontiers. So I'm going to be filling that out on stream. I'm going to be reading Morio Kishimoto's interview. And we also have some word from the big man himself, Takashi Iizuka, about, you know, he did like a 35th anniversary kind of interview. He talks about a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go into the full entire interview, but I will leave a link in the description for that if you want to check it out yourself. You know, so you get some value out of this video no matter what, even if there's something not for you. Maybe you want to hear the interview. I don't know, but I just want to talk about the 35th because that's kind of the thing that's probably disappointed most fans, I would say. Like, most people are kind of impatient. For now, I feel like it's all about the movie, and it is what it is. Without further ado, let's get into Iizuka's interview first, and then we'll work our way over from there. Sonic fans are very passionate, often calling for remakes or remasters. I would personally love to see The Black Knight, Unleashed, or Sonic Heroes make a comeback. Are there any games you would like to revisit? He says, it always makes me happy to hear that the fans still care so deeply about these games. Each title has its own audience, and we pay close attention when people tell us which experiences they would like to play again. For me, the challenge is that remaking a game properly requires much more effort than improving the graphics. We would need to reconsider the controls, level design, technology, presentation, and many other elements, so the experience meets the expectations of players today. In some cases, that would require almost as much time and effort as developing an entirely new game. Because of that, my personal focus is usually on how we can use the resources to give players a new Sonic experience. That does not mean we have forgotten the older titles. Their ideas and lessons remain an important part of how we think about and shape Sonic's future. So I want to pause the interview for a second and give my thoughts about this. It kind of reaffirms something that we've already known, and it's been said in a couple other interviews. He kind of has like these talking points that he just reuses from interview to interview, but essentially, it seems like remasters and remakes are cooked, and I have a little theory for this as to why we're probably not going to get any anytime soon, and that's because they've run out of controversial games to put out. I mean, if you think about it, they did Colors. What was Colors? A highly praised 3D Sonic game with a good review score. They put out Generations. What is that? Same thing. Highly praised 3D Sonic game with a good review score. They put out Origins, which is the classic games, which are just like unanimously loved. The reason why Sonic even exists is because of the success and the brilliance of the classic game. So now what? What else do they have to re-release? They have nothing. Sonic Heroes is a divisive game. They've talked about remaking that game, but Sonic Heroes, again, I think one also needs a full-blown remake. Like, they couldn't even just remaster or port it. And again, it's a game that has a 73 on Metacritic, so it's like a 7 out of 10. It's not unanimously loved. People hate certain things about it. I personally like it, but it's one of those games that not everybody is totally on board with. What else do you have? You have like the GBA games. I don't think they're just going to full-blown release GBA games unless maybe they did it for like the Switch or something. I feel like NSO probably makes more sense for that. They're not going to do Sonic 06. I mean, that's just like a PR disaster. No matter what anyone says, they're not going to want to open up that can of worms again, whether you like 06 or hate it. They're just not going to do it. So, I mean, what else do they have? Unleashed? Unleashed could realistically use higher frame rates and better resolution for modern platforms. But even then, Unleashed was a game that did not receive the best commercial praise. It was like a 6 out of 10 for the Metacritic score. I truly think that Unleashed was probably unfairly judged. I feel like Unleashed is still a really good game. I think it would actually fare better the second go around with reviews. But even then, you have the Werehog. It's still a little divisive. What they don't have anymore is any slam dunks. The only thing I could think of that would generate significant buzz and possible praise for them, like something that would be game industry level wise, like event, like that would be big. Other than making a new 3D Sonic game, like Frontiers kind of was. Like, Frontiers was a big deal. I think it would be the adventure games, but even then, Iizuka kind of reiterates the fact that I think he's kind of alluding to when he says in the interview that they don't want to do new games because it's a lot of effort, and he's probably referring to the adventure games. Like, those games obviously need a ground-up remake. You can't just, re-port those. I just don't think it's worth the time and effort for them to do that, and they've also done it multiple times. Like, you can get these games on Steam right now. Sure, they're not in the best states, but I don't think it's an urgent priority for them to just re-release it again. It would be nice to have it on Switch, but it doesn't really seem like they have anything that's just going to be, one, not divisive, and two, guaranteed get decent review scores. And even when the game seems like it's a slam dunk, like Colors Ultimate, there's still the chance that it can get messed up. So I think they've just run out of things that are just easy to do. And now it's like, all right, they got to really put in the work. It's just not worth the gamble right now. Right now, I think their focus is the next mainline Sonic game. And they'll probably revisit something in the future if there's an opportunity. Like, I'm sure at some point in our lifetimes, before the world ends, maybe there will be a Sonic Adventure remaster or remake or whatever. I do believe that. I just found it kind of interesting. I think it kind of puts to bed the rumors that maybe some type of remake, remaster, whatever is in the cards, because it just doesn't seem to be. He said it multiple times in multiple interviews. Without further ado, let's continue further into the interview. And here's the last thing that we got out of this that's really important. It's a pretty decent interview if you're interested. I'm not going to go through everything because it takes a while, so I'll leave a link so there's some value, you know, you get out of this video regardless. It says there have been many big celebrations for Sonic this year. I wasted no time in getting the Sonic in concert tickets, and we know that there is more to come. Can you give us any hint about what we might be getting? He says that we want the 35th anniversary to recognize every part of Sonic's history while looking ahead. Throughout the year, fans will see Sonic through games, music, events, collaborations, blah, blah, blah. Some announcements have already been made, while other surprises will need to remain a secret for a little longer. I know that Sonic fans are extremely observant, so I must be careful not to provide any unintended clues. What I can say is that this celebration for the community that has supported Sonic for 35 years, we hope there will be something that appeals to every fan from this era and that everyone will continue to following the official channels for what comes next. What I find kind of interesting about that is he kind of alludes to the fact that the 35th anniversary isn't quite over yet. It seems like we still have a couple more surprises. And you know what? As Sonic fans, we all kind of thought June 23rd was going to be the cutoff. Like, that's when we're going to get Sonic news. And if not, the anniversary is ruined. And if you think about it, it's like, you know, it's an anniversary year. So I would imagine that this thing's going to keep going until June 23rd, 2027. So we have plenty of time to figure out what the next game is going to be. I personally think they're probably not going to announce the new game before the movie 4 trailer comes out. I think the movie 4 trailer comes first, one way or the other, whether it's at the Game Awards together like they did with Frontiers 1 and movie 2, or the movie 4 trailer just comes before that. And then eventually at some point we get the Frontiers trailer. But it seems like the Frontiers 2 trailer is Game Awards. Like, that's it, right? Like, we thought it was Game Awards last year. We thought it was Summer Games Fest. It's not going to be Gamescom. We already know that's confirmed. So I'm thinking that Game Awards is the official reveal debut. Maybe we'll get another Sonic movie trailer as well. So they'll probably want to, you know, save it for that. Probably a holiday 2027 release date, and that is the schedule. It's a 5-year gap between Frontiers 1 and Frontiers 2. But I think there's still time this year for an announcement. It's just one of those years, man. It's a slow year. It is what it is. But let's talk about the next Sonic games, because speaking of which, Mario Kishimoto kind of is doing a Frontiers devlog kind of thing. So we get a little bit of insight about the development process of Frontiers. There's a survey. I'm going to fill it out and we'll check it out and see what's going on there. So let's take a look. It says, hello, I'm Kishimoto, the director of the Sonic series. Last time when I asked questions, I was secretly nervous about what I would do if I didn't get any responses. Now I'm overwhelmed with joy because I've received more than 350 opinions and comments from everyone. So let's see what it says. Question 1, I have 2 questions. Based on my experience playing and testing Sonic's movement and physics calculations for many hours, this is also translated by the way, so it might not be 100%. It says, I got the impression that Sonic was originally designed to move in a similar style to the Adventure series rather than using a boost system. Are there any plans to reconsider that idea in the future? He says, thank you. You're asking about the boost, which is an acceleration type element that enhances Sonic's sense of speed, right? When we were developing Sonic Frontiers, we struggled a lot with the decision of whether to implement the boost or a spin dash. After the game's release, we listened to everyone's feedback and implemented the spin dash in an update, aiming to achieve a balance between boost and spin dash, even though it's not really a true spin dash in the traditional sense. What I realized then, as you mentioned, is the question of what kind of player behavior is best based on Sonic's movements and physics calculations. This is a crucial turning point that leads to level design, so I would like to continue taking on this challenge. Next up is this. Details of the updated parts. I'm guessing they're talking about the updates. What I focused on when creating the update was that there was a lot of things left undone in the main game, so I wanted to do those things in an update. However, after the release, we received so much encouragement, feedback, and comments from everyone. In gratitude and a desire to live up to expectations, we decided to work on a scale that originally wasn't planned. For example, this included adding a spin dash, changing the gameplay to platform action that utilizes Sonic's movement and speed without relying on gimmicks, allowing free camera movement during gameplay, and even adding another final boss battle. It was quite a wide range of changes. In other words, my focus for the updates has shifted to meeting the expectations of gratitude for users and surprising them even further. Given the limited resources available after the main game's release. The development team truly lent us a tremendous amount of support. I think we've managed to create an update that will surprise everyone. Please let us know what you think after playing the update. What is he talking about? The update's been out for 3 years already. Question 3. Did you feel that a sense of accomplishment when tackling the open zone? I'd love to run around an even more advanced open zone in the next game. Here we go. Next game. Let's see what they have to say. Thank you. Yes, I felt a great response. In the next project, I will strive to create an evolution that will meet everyone's expectations and surprise you even more. Sonic and I will keep running. We are still waiting for your enthusiastic messages. Please send them to this section. We look forward to hearing from you. So, yeah, it looks like they're going to be evolving the open zone for the next game. Surprise, surprise. What else do we have here? We welcome your feedback and question regarding Sonic Frontier Super Deluxe. I guess that's the whatever version. The what do they call it? I don't even... Definitive edition. I forgot. Dude, I've been so out of the Sonic loop lately. So it looks like there's a survey system if you're interested in submitting questions to the Sonic Frontiers development team. Maybe this can be implemented for future games. So let's see what it says. What are 3 things that you like about Sonic Frontiers? Well, let's see. I would say cyberspace stage, not in particular because of the physics of the game or whatever. Like, you could say what you want about cyberspace. Reused elements, reused level designs, the bad atmosphere, right? The look of the levels doesn't really look that great. But I do think that linear stages will always have a place in Sonic games. Replaying one stage, trying to time attack it, start to finish, learning new routes, taking different level paths. That's something that's always going to be central to Sonic. It's kind of like in Zelda Breath of the Wild, how they put the shrines in. I like the shrines. I like the cyberspace stages. So keep that in there. As far as the joy of exploring the open zones, I would say that that's probably true. I don't know if there's as much exploration in the open zones as opposed to just that feeling of running around, being able to attack the levels, the open zones the way that you want to. You know, even though some of the level design can be kind of linear, right? It's like you go through the stages, it automates you. It can be very restrictive, even though it's an open zone. There's a lot of ways you can circumvent that through your own curiosity and just knowledge of the gameplay mechanics. So I would say that just being in the open zone, I like it. Listen, Sonic in an open world, it works for me. And then as far as the last one, high speed action, I mean, yeah, I guess you probably go with that. I think that the exhilaration of travel, yeah, I'd probably say that. I think that these are the things that, you know, high speed action, exhilaration of travel, these kind of like go hand in hand. Let's just say high speed action. Please select the topics you would consider to cover in our column regarding the story of Sonic Frontiers. What do we got here? I think that the best thing to talk about is connection to the series. I mean, that's always good for me. What else are they talking about for the story? The worldview and the setting, the story pacing, Sonic's description. None of these really stand out to me. As far as the story goes, let's talk about the sequel. Let's talk, yeah, that's what we want. We want the sequel. And then Sonic's description, I guess, main story content. Yeah, sure, I don't know. It's not really that interesting. Please select the topics you would like us to cover in the graphics. As far as the graphics, I would say animation is big. I would say expressing the world, beauty in the fields of the landscapes, and model. How about the model? Let's talk about the model for Sonic. That's just something that everyone wants. Please select the topics you would want us to cover in the column about the sound. I don't really care about the sound. As far, you know that the soundtrack's usually going to hit in a Sonic game. Immersion in gameplay, I would say the boss battle background music. I mean, that'd be kind of interesting to see them talk about that. The vocal sounds, right? I mean, there's nothing really too interesting. Please feel to share any opinions, impressions you have regarding the development process. So I said, what is the deal for the next Sonic game? Are we going to get something in the same engine? Will it be a true sequel to Frontiers? What about the environment design? Realism or more traditional Sonic art style? Will there be a new model? If anything, in general, what can be revealed about the next Sonic game? So I'm going to submit this, and maybe one of my questions will be answered. So in case you thought Open Zone was going away, it seems like it's not. Obviously, that's going to be the next Sonic game. It's going to be a sequel to Sonic Frontiers and everything but name. Oh, the cat's here. Hey. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting that they're still kind of soliciting feedback and offering commentary about the next game in Sonic Frontiers. Hopefully, we're not that short into the development cycle, but it seems like it's more so just kind of connecting with the fans. But yeah, it's cool to see that the next game will be taking some more feedback. We'll be developing further the open zone, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's better to double down on a formula instead of abandoning it, kind of like what they did with Sonic Lost World, Sonic Boom. They did all this stuff that set back the franchise so much. So it's good that Sonic Frontiers was a success, and now we can just kind of build off of that for the next decade. I would imagine that Frontiers 2 is going to be a game that maybe puts the first one to shame, considering how much feedback they have, how much success they did with Shadow Generations and Frontiers, and just kind of all the feedback that they've solicited. So we'll see what happens, but let me know your thoughts on the 35th anniversary, the next Sonic game, we're getting close, you know? It's almost a couple months away for them to start talking about it. So we'll see what happens.